What's going on, man? Coach Tyler here with Black Diamond Softball and Fitness, and I have got a brand new episode of the Foul Pole Daily Show for you. Today is Monday, January 29th, and we are just a few days away from the start of our 2024 softball season. Today's episode is proudly brought to you by Brum Bands. Unleash your full hitting potential with Brum Bands, the ultimate baseball and softball hitting trainer. Our two-band set featuring the slot band and cuffs corrects many common mistakes by promoting clean contact and preventing overgripping. Developed by a 40-year Major League Baseball hitting coach, Mike Brumley, Brum Bands provides immediate feedback, reinforcing proper hitting techniques and training. Just a few minutes a day with Brum Bands, and you'll feel the difference when you step up to the plate. Affordable, perfect for any player, and developed by pros, Brum Bands, where excellence meets affordability. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to remind you again about our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/FPtFP. We dropped some pretty good stuff. Recently, we've put some of RT Cantillo stuff from her episode of the podcast. So go check that out, man. I'll leave a link in the description for you to go check that out. Make sure you subscribe over there. And then also you can turn on the notification bell so that way anytime we post anything over there, it'll come straight to your phone so you won't miss anything. Again, that's Foul Pole over on the YouTube side. All right, man. Today I wanted to get into working in the off season and mixing that with listening to your body. You know, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal for a lot of athletes is to play at the highest level they can achieve. Maybe that's high school, maybe that's college, maybe that's professional, maybe that's Olympic. Whatever their goal is, whatever their dreams are, there are certain things that those athletes have to become accustomed to because the athletes that play at that level are accustomed to doing those certain things. I'm a stickler for hard work. There's really no other words that you could say. It's hard work, constantly working towards something and not necessarily hitting the weight room or working out 24 hours a day. Listening to your body and seeing how it responds to the things that you do. What works for you may not work for someone else. So if you're one of these that's a pitcher, and we can break it down to a 7 days a week type of workout plan. You know, you have to have days built in to where you are resting and recovering. You have to allow your muscles to rejuvenate. You have to allow your muscles to sort of recover from the work that you've put in on it. I lifted weights for a long time years ago, and I noticed that my biggest gains come from a rest schedule. Your muscles don't grow while you're lifting. They grow when you're recovering. And if you're trying to become, the next greatest pitcher of all time, if you're trying to become the Monica Abbott or the Michelle Smith or the Cat Osterman, you've got to learn how to listen to your own body. So just because you see someone working out and it seems like they work out 8 days a week, they're not, but what works for them may not work for you. You can pick up little tidbits of information and that kind of stuff to maybe put into your routine, but you have to listen to what you do and see how your body responds. One basic, easy sort of schedule that you can do, it doesn't matter if you're a pitcher, catcher, third baseman, it doesn't matter, is 1 day on, 1 day off. Now, that is a part of your other daily routine as far as your team schedule and your team practice and that kind of thing. So right now we have a lot of young athletes that are starting their spring season for softball. 9 times out of 10, if you talk to an athlete that's in the middle of their season, they're probably practicing 5 days a week. So that Monday through Friday, especially with school ball, you've got to find time to where you're getting your extra work in, but you're not overworking. So maybe you only do 3 days a week of one-on-one, whatever it is. So if you're a pitcher and hopefully your coach has some sort of schedule, and maybe you only throw on Tuesdays and Thursdays at school ball practice, then you need to be doing something Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, I'm not saying throw a complete bullpen session on those days, but you need to be getting some sort of arm training in, whether that's stretching only one day, maybe a Wednesday, that's all you do is stretch. Maybe Monday you get, maybe a half a bullpen session, or maybe you're only throwing one pitch, 50 balls, 75 reps or something like that. And then on Friday, you're doing something completely different. So you're always allowing some part of your body to recover. That's the main thing. If you're a power athlete, if you're a speed athlete, you're going to have your practice those 5 days, maybe even on the weekends too, who knows? But those 5 days that you're having your team practice, you need to kind of make those mental notes of today we went heavy on the strength and conditioning. So maybe on a Monday, I'm just going to go home and get my extra 100 swings in or extra 300 swings in or whatever. If you didn't take any BP on Tuesday, you need to get some soft toss in. You need to get some type of timing drill in or something like that. So you're working. If you're one of those athletes that all you're doing is getting your workouts in with the team and nothing on the individual side, you're going to fall behind those ones that are chasing that same dream and that same goal that you're chasing. Once you get to a certain level, whether you're trying to, say you're a high school athlete and you're trying to make it to college, when you go to camps, you go on a campus visit or something like that, and you're able to interact with some of these ball players and you're able to talk to them, every one of them is going to tell you that the intensity level went up when they got to college. And, these athletes are the ones that were recruited. These athletes are the ones that were sought after. And they were doing a little bit above what all the other high schoolers were doing. And they're telling you that, hey, man, when I got here, I wasn't prepared for this. That's the one thing that seems to go around a lot is I wasn't prepared for this type of practice or, this type of workout or whatever. I mean, there's strength and conditioning at every school across the board. Softball programs, there's strength and conditioning. So if you're in high school and you've never learned how to lift weights at all, take a weightlifting class, take a strength and conditioning class, whatever it is. Look at your electives. Talk to your guidance counselor and say, hey, look, my goal is to play in college ball. I've never picked up a weight before, and I don't want to be the first time I've ever done this for real to be when I walk on campus, because you're going to be behind those athletes. I talked to Hannah Goodwin on the podcast, and she's said it multiple times. Matter of fact, that if you haven't started lifting weights, if you haven't started working on your strength, you're going to be behind when you get to college, because those girls, that's the first thing that pops out to you is how big and how strong and how fast those college athletes are. You're going to go in as a freshman, 17, 18 years old. You're about to go play ball with some 22, 23-year-old women, right? That's been lifting weights for 3 or 4 years, and you're trying to compete and take somebody's spot. Man, it's just not going to happen. It's not. So you need to get on a schedule, research this stuff, talk to a professional that's in that, that softball strength and conditioning, working with female athletes. Talk to someone that's in that world and get their opinion on it. Not everything has to cost, a whole bunch of money. Just, you could Google it. You could, find it on social media. Talk to somebody. Talk to maybe some of your health teachers at school or someone like that. Talk to a nutritionist. That's another big part of it. Making sure you're eating right. All the fuel that goes into your body is either clean fuel or it's dirty fuel, right? If you're eating a handful of Skittles and M&Ms for lunch and that's all you're getting, you're not really fueling your body for it to be set up to run like you want it to in a couple hours when you get to practice. So trying to mix those carbohydrates with the good fats and the proteins to give your body something to dig down deep and get this workout in. And what I want to challenge you guys with is whatever you're doing right now, do more tomorrow. Do more next week. Continue to push yourself to get to that next level. Set your goals so that next week you're going to be able to achieve those goals. We're talking short-term goals. I want you to set goals that you can achieve right away. If you're not a goal-oriented person, I'm going to challenge you to become a goal-oriented person. So if you don't do any extra work at home, I want you at least on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, to set your tee and bow net up with your bucket of balls. And I want you to get an extra 125 swings on those 3 days. 3 days out of 7. I want you to get an extra 3 days. So if you already hit 4 days, I want you to go ahead and try to hit another extra 3 days. Maybe it's 50 balls, or maybe it's 125, just working on something. Maybe it's just 125 reps of hand flips. Maybe it's just 125 reps of setting my hips. Maybe it's just 125 reps of coiling the hip. Maybe it's like half swings working on hand path. I want 125 additional reps to what you already do. They don't have to be anything crazy. I just want you to just sort of set the tone right now, sort of plant that seed, start creating these short-term goals. Because that ultimate goal, that long-term goal that you have, whether it's to play in college, play professionally, play on the Olympic level, or your goal is to at least get looked at, or at least have these opportunities to play. You have to provide yourself the opportunities first before they're going to offer these opportunities to you. You got to make sure that they're even going to be looking at you. Are you within their standard that they look at? I mean, let's face it, college coaches, they have a certain standard of athlete that they want, right? Everybody is different. But if you're not even in that realm of possibility, they're not going to look at you. So if you're still kind of on the fence of, I don't know if I want to play college ball or not. Well, don't let someone make that decision for you because you didn't put the work in it and you're not even on their radar. At least put the work in so you can show up on their radar. Do something extra. We post all the time on social media. They never post anything bad, right? They're never going to post the strikeouts if you're the batter. They're never going to post the errors if you're the one that made the bad error at shortstop or something like that. We always post the good stuff. Well, when you see like 150, 300 people that is constantly posting this good stuff, it makes you feel like no matter what you do, you're not going to be good enough. But then come game day and you play against these girls, they're just like you. We're all clustered together, right? There's no one standing out. The ones that do stand out, the ones that are few and far between, those are the ones that are doing that extra little bit of stuff. All right. I'm going to leave you with that one. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Again, if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, please do so. It's youtube.com/@foulpole to foulpole. We're constantly pumping stuff out. We're going to be putting out the Chloe Evans Foul Pole to Foul Pole episode tomorrow. Had a chance to sit down with her talking about this upcoming season. She talked a little bit about the transfer portal, her coming from Minnesota, going down to UCF, getting her perspective on things. Really cool story that she shared. A lot of cool stuff in that episode. So we're going to have that out tomorrow, so be sure you check that out. If you know someone that might like this type of stuff and they haven't found the podcast yet, please share it. And if you share it with a friend, make sure you tell them you love them.